as we have our two runners both using the capital Z or capital Z as their name, which will give them, I believe it's a strength HP build as far as the two bonuses. And we're going to get things underway, and we're going to see what is in the 3 treasure chests in the throne room to get things started. As they check their statistics. And we've got a torch. We've got a set of wings. And we've got the obligatory magic key, which will get them out of the door. And in checking, well, using the wings, as Z-Man's going to do, that will allow him to keep the key. And oh, we've got some swamp around the castle. So both of them are going to more than likely save their game and then check with one of the 2 doors that they can open here in Tangential Castle. They can either go to the treasury, although TAH is going to, well, he thought about risking it, but opted not to just at the last second, and is going to go and save, in fact. So there's the opportunity to raid the treasury and see what's in there, or check the back of Tangential Castle and see what is lurking in the basement. And wow, 95 experience to level 2. And we've got the cursed belt in the treasury, as Z-Man giving that a look. And there's another magic key, as well as, wow, a second magic key in the treasury. So that looks to be the way to go. And the silver harp as well, one of our key items that are needed to, well, to gather the rainbow drop, which can access Charlotte Castle and get our runners in to face and defeat the Dragon Lord. Now, Z-Man doing a little bit of exploration. He finds a town to the west, but oh, the Warlock has Dragon Lord Breath. That attack for anywhere between 64 and 72 hit points, and given how little they have, that is certainly going to make it interesting in the early going. And TAH, TheAlanHeffley, is going to check the basement of Tangential Castle and is going to find a dark cave and is trying to make a determination as far as what it is. Meanwhile, Z-Man finding Breckenary, and it looks to be the Swamp Cave, as Jay Coper noting in chat. I do appreciate that, as Z-Man taking a look at the wares and magic armor for a pretty low price, but with no gold as of yet, it's going to make it difficult. And ooh, a ghost with Hurtmore sending TAH back to the castle at the cost of half of his gold, but half of 0 is 0, so no worries there. Meanwhile, ooh, Z-Man selling the cursed belt for 180 gold, and that's going to allow him to pick up some herbs, as well as the Dragon Scale, which will add 2 defense points to his total, just to withstand a little bit more damage. And Jay Coper noting in chat that, yes, Z-Man could technically grind cursed belts and sell them, being able to get additional gold. Meanwhile, TheAlanHeffley going after a wolf, and the wolf is going to win that battle. Now, our 2 racers are looking for... There's an enemy somewhere around the castle that is going to have a maximum of 5 hit points and will only do damage for 1 hit point at a time. And that pretty much guaranteed easy enemy would be one that will allow our racers to advance a little bit further, as ooh, Z-Man running into a Scorpion with Hurtmore. And meanwhile, TAH finding out about the Warlock with Dragon Lord Breath. 95 experience to the first level, rather on the high side, to say the least. And Z-Man going with an interesting strategy, just standing on the castle and playing the silver harp, which brings an enemy at random, and oh, the dragon, or the red dragon, and it has Dragon Lord Breath. Meanwhile, a Star Wyvern taking out TAH. Almost in stereo with the deaths. And now Z-Man is going to make his way into the back of Tanager to see what is there. We do know that it's the Swamp Cave. And Z-Man going to find out that it is the Swamp Cave. And is going to pull up a map for... Oh, he pulls up the outside spell, and it transports to another area on the map, as the map is randomized. Ooh, and a Druid, meanwhile, taking out TheAlanHeffley. The Blue Dragon's running away from Z-Man. So I wonder if perhaps this could be an enemy to try to take out, and Z-Man going toe-to-toe, but the Blue Dragon ends up running away. Z-Man finding another cave, but is on limited resources at the moment. And is bonking around, and I believe this might be the mountain cave. And he's going to hold off on it, but there is a town to the southwest. And, oh, before he can get there, Drakema whomping him for 44. Jay Coper, he did have a torch, but he utilized it to determine the swamp cave in the basement of Tanager Castle. Now, with 4 gold, there is that possibility, as you'd mentioned, of perhaps getting another cursed belt from inside the treasury and selling that to gain a little bit more here, as Warlock's sending both of our racers back to the castle with the Dragon Lord breath. Very tough early on. Well, as both of our racers are getting a little bit of footing, let me tell you a little bit about our 2 racers here. Z-Man, well, he's known for racing Zelda 1 Randomizer, but now is also racing here in the Dragon Warrior Randomizer tournament. He played in the Winter 2017 Zelda 1 Randomizer tourney and made the bracket stage, advancing to the top 32. He also dabbles in a Link to the Past Randomizer, Final Fantasy IV Randomizer, the Mysidian Shuffle, and Free Enterprise, as well as Dragon Warrior 4 Randomizer. And he is known also for being behind the microphone, commentating Zelda 1 Randomizer and Dragon Warrior Randomizer as well, and has the ability to commentate Zelda 2 Randomizer, A Link to the Past, and Super Metroid Randomizer. And he notes that Dragon Lord fights don't tend to go well even if he's over-leveled, and he has never streamed anything vanilla and probably never will, and he is known for the randomization. Now, meanwhile, Z-Man, he had fallen to Ryu Seishin in the first round in a very close matchup with a solid time of 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 4 seconds. TAH, TheAlanHeffley, meanwhile, he's from Louisville, Kentucky, as very well known, and is fairly new to speedrunning, randomized or otherwise, and mainly runs Zelda 2 Randomizer, but also runs Zelda 1, as well as A Link to the Past and Super Mario Bros. 3 randomized. And pretty much if it's randomized, he'll play it as well. TAH losing his opening round match to High Spirits by a little under 8 minutes with a time of 2 hours, 29 minutes, and 36 seconds. And now utilizing the herb is TAH, and going back into the treasury is Z-Man. And perhaps utilizing that strategy of getting multiple cursed belts, especially considering that there are 2 magic keys in the treasury. Oh, and he's getting trolled a little bit by the non-playable guard there. And it looks like that might be the play. as Z-Man's going to go back into the treasury again. Meanwhile, TAH, falling to a Magidrakey. So it looks like that could be the case, is a cursed belt grind. That just goes to show the innovation of our runners here. Taking a look in chat. So far, no levels, no enemy slain as of yet. And to get to level 2, it is 95 experience. Very high in the early going. Ooh, and a Wraith attacking for a bunch as well. TAH going to go back into the swamp cave in the basement of Tantagel. And Z-Man going back in for some more cursed belts. And it looks like that strategy that Jay Coper had suggested in chat might be the way to go, although maybe he's going back for a 5th one. Going to maximize out as a Star Wyvern taking out TAH in the cave. So our 2 runners starting with the stop spell and outside spells. And I wonder if TAH was aware that he could cast outside to not have to navigate through the cave. Meanwhile, Z-Man has made it to Breckenary and is going to sell the collection of cursed belts. Meanwhile, TAH perhaps trying to get out of the swamp to explore the east. Not quite able to do so. Thalfon noting in chat here. So what ended up happening was inside the treasury there was the silver harp, 2 magic keys, and the cursed belt. So what they did, they had a key to open the treasury. They went in, picked up the 2 keys and the cursed belt, left town, re-entered the town, or the castle in this case, regenerated the chest to be able to get more keys and more belts, and essentially repeat. And in this case, that has allowed Z-Man to get enough gold to purchase a magic armor, which is the 2nd strongest armor in the game, adding 24 defense points to your total, and on top of it, it has the added advantage of reduced damage from hurt spells, and for every 4 steps that you walk, you gain a hit point back towards your maximum. So it heals you just that every little bit, although not much in terms of recovering from that scorpion attack as Z-Man goes back. And yes, as noted in the shop in Breckenary, a jewel-encrusted bamboo pole, leading to a much more expensive than the vanilla version of the game. Usually it's only 10 gold, and in this case, way more than that. And TAH exploring to the east and running away from a metal scorpion, finding a Droll Magi who, hits for 8, and that just happens to be enough. So back into the treasury goes TAH. As Z-Man going to cast outside. Whenever you enter the south side of the swamp cave, if you cast outside, it automatically takes you out to the north, and waiting for him is a wolf lord who strikes him in one shot. Unfortunately, we don't have a tracker, but I am able to take a look at the tracked items. And yes, both have access to the magic keys. They both have the silver harp. And the only item advantage is Z-Man has purchased a magic armor, whereas TAH is still unarmed and unweaponed and unshielded. Both of our runners looking for their first kill. And Z-Man is going to use an herb. Oh, and the wolf misses. So this may be the one-to-one attack that may get things going here. But the kicker to the Chaos Edition, one of a few different things, the amount of experience to get from one level to the next is randomized, as are all of the enemy statistics. So their hit points, their strength, their agility, the amount of experience they give, the amount of gold that they give, all are randomized. And he takes out the wolf. Oh, for 228 experience. So he may want some more of those. And right into Breckenary goes Z-Man. As noted in chat, first blood drawn at about 17 minutes into this seed. And meanwhile, we had a purchase on TAH's side. I believe it was the magic armor. And a copper sword for Z-Man. Ooh, and an armored knight smacking for 29, sending TAH back at the cost of half his gold. Ooh, and a warlock with not a lot of experience, but quite a bit of gold.
How's it going today, Firon?
Hey!
Apologize for being late.
Oh, no worries. We've got Edgeworth joining me here.
So it looks like the wolf was the magic enemy to find in the first area.
It most certainly was, and Z-Man was able to take advantage of that, smacking him for 228 experience and jumping up to level 3. And warlocks are ones to avoid as they've got Dragon Lord Death. Well, Z-Man going toe-to-toe with this Druid Lord. TAH, meanwhile, trying to navigate the swamp a little bit. Still trying to get that first kill.
Yeah, after a certain point, I think you would just have to cut your losses on this Druid Lord fight.
I don't believe that Z-Man had any herbs, so he was just trying to go for the gusto here to get things going. But you would think, based on how well the wolf fight went, that you try to look for another one of those. Especially with almost double the experience to go from level 3 to level 4. Total of 535.
Yeah, that seems to be the best option, especially with the way the running is coded in the game, that in the early tier, you can just escape from enemies a lot easier. So looking for that extra wolf the second time is going to be a lot quicker.
And Z-Man now venturing out and is going to check out this cave unless the Warlock has something to say about it. But an excellent move, a Kaisha no Ichigeki, and that gets another 36 on the Warlock. And Z-Man has found Garanham, which will allow us to see a few more potential weapons and another copper sword, a rather expensive flame sword, a large shield for around the same amount that it would cost in the standard game. Just a little more at 804 instead of the 800. But now we've got 3 chests that are locked up, and because they have keys, they can find, the Stones of Sunlight. That is one of the key items in the game that Z-Man has found here, as well as we got a Fairy Water, which works like the Repel spell, and a Dragon Scale.
So pretty good job on the progression items so far, finding the harp and the stones early.
Yeah, it has just been a bit of a bear to find enemies to get things going, and it looks like the advantage has been with, as noted in chat by Jake Hoper, definitely want to give him credit for that, the Cursed Belt grind, as the contents of the treasury with the Silver Harp, 2 magic keys, and the Cursed Belt. So he ended up Cursed Belt farming enough gold by selling them for 180 gold apiece to obtain a magic armor for around 427 gold, as well as a copper sword for 400 and something as well. Yeah, as far as equipment, we've got copper sword and the magic armor for Z-Man, whereas TAH has just the magic armor, but he is working on the Cursed Belt grind as well, and is going to pick himself up a weapon in a little bit here.
They're definitely in copper sword range now.
Ooh, and Z-Man has found Cantlin, the shopping mall of Alefgard. 3 different weapon and armor shops. Oh, and a broadsword for 69 gold. That's going to be an upgrade.
Wow, that's a huge find.
That's going to double his attack power from 10 to 20. And the magic armor was 515. The copper sword was 427. Ooh, and a scorpion casting hurt more.
Ouch.
And, ooh, even stronger of an attack. And stereo deaths.
Oh, good luck for Z-Man finding another wolf.
And able to take it out for another 228, and that leaves him just 7 experience shy of level 4. And now going to go and take out another Warlock, and that's going to get him to level 5. 7 power, 1 response speed, 5 hit points, 14 magic points. No new spells, though. And TAH is going to do a little exploring in the north direction and getting away from a Star Wyvern and a red slime as well, and is going to find Cantlin. So he should be able to get the broadsword. And the silver shield there I see at 8426. That's also of note. And a Magidrake for 56 experience. Z-Man utilizing an herb and taking on a Drakema, and ooh, Drakema hitting for 36.
Did spot a cave in the lower left there, so has something to work towards if he decides to go back in that direction.
And to answer in chat, yes, both of our runners have the magic armor, and they both have the broadsword. As far as the progression items, the silver harp, that was in the Tangible Treasury. Both of our runners have that. Z-Man was able to find the Stones of Sunlight. That was locked in Garenham. TAH, meanwhile, going toe-to-toe with a magician, and opting not to. Ooh, and a Wraith Knight sends TAH back to the castle.
Z-Man finds a metal slime. Looks like that was actually a doable fight, and he runs away, of course.
Ooh. And a Drakema, not quite a doable fight, as it attacks ahead of time, and back to the castle goes Z-Man. And another 197 to get to level 5.
Yeah, it certainly looks like those might be the fun police of the early round, hitting hard and with high agility attacking first.
Okay, and a Metal Scorpion giving 43 experience. Ooh, only 6 experience for the Star Wyvern.
And definitely going to pass that one up, but the other enemies in the early group, no reason why you couldn't just one-shot them on the way to another town.
And speaking of another town, Z-Man finding Hawk's Nest and is going to take a look and see what the boss is, and it's going to be an Axe Knight. Oh, and he gets an excellent move on the Axe Knight and takes him out for 77 experience, and is going to find nothing behind the search spot.
Uh-oh. Well, now he knows that token's going to be in a chest. Although this is the new versions, so does that mean Fairy Flute could be in a chest instead?
That is correct. The Fairy Flute and Erdrick's token can be in a chest. And we know that one of them is because that search spot came up empty. And TAH, meanwhile, getting on the board, taking out a Warlock, but still has a little bit to go to get to the next level, and a Wraith taking out Z-Man. working on a Magidrake. Which, if TAH is able to take out the Magidrake, it'll put him close, but not quite to level 2. Meanwhile, another Star Wyvern for Z-Man. Oh, and not quite enough. Ooh, and the Knight bringing a little bit of a punch and a challenge to Z-Man, but he's able to successfully get away. Oh, and the Ghost with Hurtmore sniping Z-Man.
Yikes. So, a lot of nasty stuff on the overworld there. It's the first time I saw the Metal Scorpions with Dragon Lord 2 breath there.
Yeah, we found a few of those already. Warlocks are also particularly nasty, but with the broad swords that they both have equipped, it makes it a little easier. And oh, here we go. TAH has found a wolf. Should be able to get another shot here, and is going to take him down and go to level 2. Actually, to level 3. Getting 11 power. No additional spells. But now this will get him right back into it here.
Boost is huge. It allows him to cover a lot more ground after the swamp area.
Well, apparently I'm being told in chat that I'm apparently doing my Karnak the Magnificent impression, being able to see into the envelope before opening it here.
Nothing wrong with showing off some psychic powers. And looks like Z-Man's loading up on some herbs to go get the coordinates.
And that does look to be the play. I'm debating now if I should wait 30 seconds before saying what needs to be said here.
I think it's just on Alan's stream.
Oh, okay. Well, I know there were a few skipped frames on TAH's side. As we see here, the coordinates are 62 north and 43 west. So we may have a princess in play.
Yeah, Z-Man probably hoping for some single-digit coordinates there, but it's not going to be that easy this time.
TAH going for a save reset.
And it looks like Z-Man's stream has gone down.
Oh, no.
And indeed, he's off of IRC as well, so might be a blip in his connectivity. Hopefully it's not a crash or anything like that.
Well, I know where we are here in Pennsylvania that we've had high winds of course of the last 36 to 48 hours that has created some meteorological havoc, to say the least. Meanwhile, TAH is trying to handle a knight and is not able to do so. TAH going to give Drakey a try here, and Drakeys have Dragon Lord Breath as well.
Z-Man back on IRC. Just have to see when the stream can pop back up.
Ooh, 26 seconds ahead, okay. Well, it looks like TAH is going to get to level 5. Oh, wow. And Z-Man back just in time to also get to level 5. Okay, looks like we're back on board here, and wow, the levels coming fast and furious. Now they're both up to level 6, just maybe about 20 seconds apart from one another. So the experience differential is minimal, although Z-Man looks to be grinding on the wolves.
Still only 1 damage on that Druid Lord.
And looking to see how he does with a Wraith here. And Z-Man has gone up to level 7.
Looks like just going to take a quick spin around the castle to get the free refill. And looks like Alan's found a cave.
Now, I don't know how far behind I am, so I'm not sure whether to give something away here, but it looks like TAH has found the Vanilla Stones of Sunlight cave, and it has Erdrick's sword.
Wow, that is a real big find. Significant upgrade over that broadsword, and we could see Alan catch up a little bit by finding that first. Also know that Z-Man was headed towards that same cave before taking an untimely death.
And Z-Man is going through the swamp cave, perhaps going to see what the enemy is guarding the princess, to be able to get the GPS, the Wayland positioning system, in a sense, and be able to find where the coordinates, where his coordinates are in relation to the castle, to be able to determine where the overworld searchable item is. and level 7 has Hurt More. Oof, 14 experience.
Oh, the red dragon's just empty calories this seed.
And we have a princess on Z-Man's side.
Now, Z-Man casting outside, and it takes him to the other side of the cave, but I guess he can easily go through this in the dark.
And taking out another Star Wyvern for 6 experience. And going to try to hurt more the magician who runs away. So TAH, he just needs to find another wolf, and that should get him to level 7, where there will be the Hurt More spell.
Yeah, another wolf or another werewolf, and he'll be off to the races then.
Which should be at least a little bit easier, given that he has Erdrick's sword, and it looks like TAH has found the tablet cave? And find some big bucks in there.
$750 gold, not too bad, but it feels a lot worse when you've got both Erdrick's sword and magic armor.
Well, there is that shield that's still in play, the silver shield. And it's not cheap, but not as expensive as in the vanilla game.
That's true, and he can pick up the large shield right now.
That'll help for another 10 defense points. Z-Man going toe-to-toe with a Wolf Lord in the meanwhile, and TAH is now in Garenham and is going to find the Stones of Sunlight. Ooh, Wolf Lord's tough to take down, but they give the max experience.
So good move from Z-Man taking that fight. He's just going to stop and top off the magic at the end. He's not too far away from those coordinate spots.
Well, TAH, meanwhile, navigating the mountain cave in the dark, finding an herb in the upper chest. And noting in chat the half a frame per second.
He's about 3 steps away now.
And he finds the Erdrick's armor, does Z-Man, in the overworld.
So Erdrick's armor and Hurtmore, his exploration is really going to take off now.
Especially going after this Wolf Lord here. It's one that it takes a little bit of time, but the value is certainly there with the maximum allowable experience, 255 experience for a Wolf Lord.
Yeah, and it looks like he goes down to double Hurtmore, so as long as he doesn't get any untimely misses, this is a pretty quick fight for the max experience, too.
I was trying to see if he could go with one Hurtmore and one Slash, but that's not quite going to be enough, as there's, I believe, over 100 hit points for the Wolf Lord. But it's got a pretty good amount of hurt resistance.
I guess he's just going to go for the safe play then and chop him down, and this is where having Erdrick's sword really would help.
True, he only has the broadsword, which, I mean, I say only, but it adds 20 attack power to your base strength, but Erdrick's sword is double that.
It's like Alan took out a Wraith Knight, only 33 experience, so probably not worth fighting again.
Ooh, and double deaths to the Scorpion and Hurtmore, as well as the Drakema.
The Scorpion looked like he had a fair amount of health. Even with the Hurtmore resistance from the armor, still wasn't enough to get the job done.
Z-Man buying keys as there's the virtual high five. TAH going back down to the swamp cave. Check out the other side.
So it looks like Alan's going to take another run at the basement.
Which looks to be the mountain cave. And Z-Man has found the tablet cave.
So he'll pick up his 750 bucks.
Or maybe a little less. It's a range. Either way, it'll be some big bucks. And TAH getting to level 7, and boom, there's Hurtmore.
And picks up a fighter's ring as well.
Z-Man about 200 experience away from another level.
Yeah, stocking up on torches with no access to Radiant.
And Z-Man's going to pick up the large shield in Garanham.
It's a pretty efficient use of about all the money he has, only 74 gold left after his shopping trip.
And Z-Man's going to make his way into the mountain.
Meanwhile, Alan hits level 8 off of skeleton fights, and those seem to be pretty efficient at his current level.
And TAH navigating in the dark. Credit to him for doing so. I couldn't. And is on the verge of finding the fifth of the chests in the mountain cave. But is having a little trouble and uses the torch. And is going to find an herb. So the fighter's ring really the only thing of use inside of the mountain cave.
So not the token as hoped, but not the fairy flute either. And it seems like both of those are going to be in the grave. Although, have the runners seen Ramaldar yet?
They have not, although they were able to get keys pretty early on.
So a small chance that it could be in the one chest in that town as well.
Ooh, and not much from level 9 to level 10. We have not found the town of Cole yet either. So Z-Man jumping out to a little less than 1,000 experience lead, and oof, Scorpion attacking for 33 after getting hit for 65, and the Wraith Knight sending Z-Man back in stereo.
Z-Man finding another wolf. Never unhappy to see that. Let's see what level 10 brings.
Brings a big boost and goes all the way up to 11 on that.
Yeah, that's 2 levels, a ton of power, and a ton of agility, so just gotta be real happy to see that. Oh, this knight is just giving Alan the business. Finally, Alan manages to get away, but takes one step, runs into a ghost.
Oh, and he takes him out. To answer Pyrolight's question in chat, there have been Death Necklace uses in the runs. What the Death Necklace does, it is a cursed item, which means you can't enter Tanager Castle, and if you die and go back to the castle while cursed, you're immediately kicked out by the king. But what it does is it adds an additional 10 attack power, but at the cost of 25% of your maximum hit points. And another Wolf Lord for the max 255.
Z-Man up to level 12 already, and he remembers that cave that the Drakima blocked him from, so he'll be getting his Erdrick sword fairly soon.
Correct. Z-Man has not found the sword as of yet. Alright, I just provided in chat an update of who has what, essentially a chat tracker. As the bad news for TAH that the Hawk's Nest search spot is empty.
And trading hurt wars with the ghost, but the ghost shows him how it's done.
And yep, Erdrick's sword is in that vanilla Stones of Sunlight cave, so you can update that for Z-Man.
Question from Zarnax in chat: have they found Jerk Cave or Sharlock yet? I've not seen either one.
Yeah, a few places have not been found as of yet. Sharlock Castle, which they'll need to access for the Dragon Lord, that has not been seen as of yet, nor has the town of Cole. Oh, and Ghost's giving the max experience roll as well, as noted in chat here. The Wolf Lord's also doing the same. The Jerk Cave, as referenced in chat, that is the Rainbow Drop Cave. That's where our racers will turn in the Staff of Rain, the Stones of Sunlight, and Erdrick's Token to obtain the Rainbow Drop to access Sharlock Castle. But in order to get that Staff of Rain, they'll need to find the old man who is in the Staff of Rain Cave, and that's where they'll trade in their Silver Harp.
Hey, there's a Sharlock sighting.
How would you look at that? So as we approach the hour mark here of the seed, it looks like the big thing that our runners are going to be looking for, as I believe everything else has been found, is Garen's Grave, which is going to have... oh, either Garen's Grave or Cole. One of those two will have the Erdrick's Token. So if one of our racers finds the town of Cole, searches the spot, and I think Z-Man has found the town of Cole, so we'll find out if the token is in the search spot or if it... Oh, he finds it. Yes. So unless they're hunting for the death necklace, there doesn't look to be any need to go into Garen's grave.
And there's a cave right next to Cole as well. We'll get to take a look at what that is. And I think that was the Jerk Cave.
That most certainly is. And now heading to the west across a bridge, and there's another cave up there. Could this perhaps be the Staff of Rain cave? It most certainly is. So now Z-Man is going to trade in the Silver Harp and acquire the Staff of Rain. So all three essential items needed to get the Rainbow Drop, and just a quick travel back east right along the way, as the Seawolf noting in chat, mighty convenient. And he'll just stop in and pick up the Rainbow Drop. Alrighty, thank you very much, and head back on south and can create the bridge into Charlotte Castle should he so choose. Although it's still a little early to go after the Dragon Lord. And TH going after a werewolf that gives 152. TH doing a little exploration utilizing that repel spell.
So it looks like snowmen and werewolves are pretty easy as far as enemies go. Always interesting to see late game enemies that terrorize you being fairly easy in the chaos mode.
Yeah, that is certainly a twist here, to say the least. As getting to level 9 is TAH.
Yeah, TAH is not going to be happy to find how much experience this Red Dragon drops.
That's right, 14, I think, if I remember right.
Yeah. Oh, he was hiding Dragon Lord 2 breath, too.
Oh, wow. It's gotta be the 4th, maybe even 5th enemy that has DL2 breath in this seed.
Yeah, meanwhile, Z-Man gets an excellent move on a ghost, so that's another 255 right in his pocket.
It looks like I was gonna say, I thought I saw 56 on the ghost. I think somebody had noted that in chat and may have perhaps confused the Wolf Lord.
Gotcha. But the metal slime seem to be pretty good options as well. It was 178 off of those.
Now getting to level 10. TAH trying for a red slime, and it runs away.
And it looks like Z-Man's stream is offline again. So just some Some rough times for Twitch today, it seems. It's TH's turn to find the treasure bonanza that is the coal area.
The token has been acquired by TAH. And not quite ready to trade everything in, but he heads north and west here. He's going to find the jerk.
Now Alan picks up his staff of rain and is going to turn around and hand it right back to the jerk.
I'm wondering, did Z-Man... Did Z-Man acquire the fighter's ring from inside the mountain cave?
I think he did.
Okay, maybe he just didn't put it on his tracker. Ooh, and another 255 from a warlord for Z-Man. It seems like the wolf family, that is the those are the enemies of choice. The wolf giving 228 experience, the wolf lord 255, and the werewolf 2.
A good group of enemies there. The skeletons in Mountain Cave were also pretty nice, giving 150 with not much HP behind that. It looks like Z-Man's gonna check out the second continent a little more, looking for Sharlock. So that might give Alan a little time to catch up.
Ooh, and a green dragon taking out TAH.
A green dragon with sleep and hurt.
Oh.
And TAH, unfortunately, at low HP going into that fight.
Now able to take out those Drakeemas that were packing a punch earlier and only 20 experience.
Oh, and the wolf runs away from him.
Hmm, 20 experience from the Drakeema. Are these enemy stats even randomized?
Gonna have to talk to McGrew about his vanilla Drakeema bug.
I wasn't going to mention names.
Oh, Oh, and another red dragon for Alan, but he manages to run away from this one. So Alan's gonna head straight into Charlock, it looks like. Or at least head down that way. And I think this is a good move. Even though you are not well enough leveled to fight the Dragon Lord yet, it's good to get that scouting information to find out what you're going to have to fight on the way down.
Oh, and it looks like Healmore at level 13 that Z-Man acquires. And able to one-shot the green dragons, and ooh. 21 power.
Well, the stats are coming
15.
Pretty fast.
Oh man, 138 attack. That's a 9 to 19 range on the Dragon Lord 2.
And I think in a vanilla...
Another level.
Wow.
To answer a question in chat from It's Too Early, the early game, it's been better, it's been worse, and I thought for a minute there was another level for Z-Man off of the 6 experience from the Demon Knight.
Early game was interesting, required, well, basically amounted to a cursed belt grind. To safely carry some money to Brecconary to pick up herbs and a copper sword. But once they found the wolf in the first area, things got going pretty quickly. It just took longer to find that than Z-Man.
Yeah, Z-Man getting to his first level at 17 minutes as an armored knight, giving 4 experience. Oof. Meanwhile, TAH getting to levels 2 and 3 around just over the half-hour mark, so about a 14-minute gap between the two. I think some of it, too, is... I don't believe that the overworld has been checked by TAH as far as getting what we know is the Erdrick's armor. Oh, and I don't even know if he's even gotten the coordinates now that I look at it here.
I'm still rolling with that magic armor, but he's got a lot more HP, so should go a little quicker.
Z-Man had checked these stats to the next level and then exited Charlock, perhaps trying to grind outside of Charlock to get that next level. Needing a total of 6836 to get there. As TAH is going to get those coordinates.
It looks like Z-Man just found a nice patch of desert to go back and forth on, but the enemy grouping, not so nice.
Yeah, not bothering with the Druid Lords that are kind of problematic. Ooh, Magic Wyvern's giving 7. So there are some generous enemies, and then there are some more brutal ones. I think that's the 5th or 4th enemy that I've seen that has had single-digit experience.
Unfortunately, all those early game experience pinatas are now running away.
making it a little more challenging as Z-Man gets another 80 and not quite to level 17, probably about another 50 experience away. And Dragon Lord Breath from the Drakey on TAH.
This werewolf is pretty much going to do it, I think.
Yep, a 152. That gets
nice bump in the hit points.
17. Yeah. So maybe now he's thinking it might be go time, and he's going to head into Rimmeldar to stay at the inn. No item shop in Rimmeldar, so unable to stock up on herbs if he hasn't already. Oh. So pending anything wonky from the Dragon Lord, it looks like level 17 is going to be the way to go, as it's going to be a little over 3,000 to get to level 18, a grand total of 10,351. Yeah, 3,418 to get to the next level, 18 for Z-Man, as he Charlotte Castle. TAH doing exploration, trying to find, although at this point the way to go would be to, well, we've got a cave here.
And I think this is the grave, the only one we haven't seen yet.
Oh. And apart from the death necklace, that's, I believe, really the only thing that's going to be of note or value in here. But Z-Man on a torrid pace.
So good job to Alan for finding that, because that was in a really obscure location, but unfortunately it's just not worth anything in this seed.
Looks like getting up to level 12.
Yeah, the skeleton fights in the generic cave area are going to be pretty useful for Alan, but looks like Z-Man is making really good progress through Charlock right now.
And grinding what he can along the way. Certainly easier in a lot of cases to fight these enemies than it is to run from them.
Yeah, with the changes to the running mechanics in Chaos Mode, sometimes it just does not pay off to try to run in Charlock.
But doing a pretty decent job of doing so when the enemies don't run away from him. And meanwhile, TAH finding the chests in the top three, or the top three chests in the three chests in the top part of Garen's grave, had some money, an herb, and the death necklace.
So as far as all of the relatively unique items in the game, that's it. So
the only other thing is, the fairy flute.
So yeah, that's probably going to be buried, maybe that's buried with Garen, and that's going to feel pretty bad going all the way down to find that.
Or, I believe that is something that can be in the Charlock Treasury as well, or somewhere in Charlock Castle.
No, I wasn't sure if that was a possibility. It would make sense. The seed is completable that way.
Yeah, you don't need the fairy flute to get into Sharlock, so it certainly could be shuffled among those. TAH still working through the dark in Garen's grave, as Z-Man is on the 7th and final basement of Sharlock and getting put to sleep by a poltergeist who attacks for 5. And TAH opting to cast outside and perhaps retrace his steps, making his way down to the lower levels of Garen's grave. Both of our runners having a little while to get to their respective next levels, as a little over 6,000 experience grand total needed for TAH. He's still about 1,700 or 1,800 away, and Z-Man still about 3,000 experience. Definitely not going to get to the next level, although that Wolf Lord certainly doesn't hurt as the mini boss, and that may not be a bad thing. He's going to see 2873 needed and is going to say, you know what? We're going to go here at the Dragon Lord.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with this call, but at the same time, if it doesn't work out, that Wolf Lord is a very, very nice grind spot.
Ooh, and one-shotting the Dragon Lord for 69 on the first form. And immediately going for stop spell, and he gets the block.
So if the Dragon Lord does have any nasty tricks up his sleeve, that's a very, very good first move.
Well, and I think that may just about seal things here for Z-Man. But you never know. Now up to 49 on Dragon Lord. Now the Dragon Lord can have anywhere between 100 and 230 hit points. And the Dragon Lord pretty much just fire spamming Z-Man.
Z-Man getting some pretty solid rolls, though.
Yeah, had a low roll early of 12. But since then, they've been in the upper teens and lower 20s, now up to 112, and another 13, and that's going to do it.
Oh, wow.
Pretty low, yeah, pretty low Dragon Lord, only 125 hit points, taking him out. And that is going to do it for Z-Man, making the Pride Walk through Tanagel Castle and having the chat with the king. Ladies and gentlemen, get out your GGs for Z-Man, who is going to finish in first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 24 minutes, and 39 seconds.
So GG to Z-Man. A lot of credit to him for recognizing the curse belt grind early on and being able to execute that properly. That gave him a lot of... And we're joined by Z-Man right now.
Z-Man, congrats and GG.
Helps to unmute my mic.
Ah, yes.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Well, we were observing here as we are wont to do, and we noticed that the key to kind of getting things rolling for you was determining early on that what looked to be a ever rare cursed belt grind was the way to go.
Yeah, so it was weird because I was, obviously there were 2 magic keys in that chest, or in the treasury. So when I went to the treasury at first, it's like, okay, 2 magic keys, I can grind the keys. Wait a minute, there's a cursed belt in there. That's 180 gold. Let's find a town. So I went, I found the town, figured out what I could buy, and I got some cursed belts, and away I went.
And that got things pretty well going, and the early-ish leveling, as both you and TAH were having some early struggles with the enemies around, but once you had found the wolf about 17 minutes in, that was another launching pad, and I think part of that was because you were implementing that cursed belt grind.
Yeah. Well, when I saw that wolf, I don't know, like you said, about 17 minutes in, I'm looking and I'm like, oh, this is so close to start. I am so behind right now. So I didn't even think to set up and grind. I just wanted to go and explore, thinking I was already behind.
Oh, okay. And little did you know that you were pretty well ahead. In fact, the first level, I mean, there was the first kill that TH had was pretty well into the sea, but it was a warlock that only gave 36 experience. So,
okay.
But he didn't get his first level until finding and taking out a wolf himself, but that was 31 minutes and change in.
Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, I knew it was a bit of a rough beginning, but I figured as soon as, that wolf got killed, because what did that wolf have? Maybe like 6 or 7 HP? Then I figured that would be the launching pad, not, I just thought I was truly behind after that.
Well, it turns out, the wolf looked to have been the proverbial wet noodle that had 5 or fewer hit points. I think it may have had exactly 5, considering your early challenge with it, but once you were able to get the copper sword and then eventually the broadsword, that got things snowballing for you.
Yeah. So I'm watching the stream now. So where is Alan?
Alan
is in the grave.
I never even found the grave, did I?
It was kind of tucked away in a southwestern peninsula, but what we eventually found out that TH is working on finding out here is that there isn't really too terribly much fruitful here. I mean, he's navigating it in the dark, to his credit.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of that is even in the grave would be maybe the death necklace, but given the HP in this sea, it's not viable. Well, I mean, unless his capital Z got a lot more HP than my little Z did. But the death necklace isn't viable in this seed.
No, it unfortunately it is not. Although yes, the death necklace was among the top 3 chests in Garen's grave, but right now navigating all the way deep to it, and it'll be interesting to see. I mean, the only thing I could think of that would even have any significance at all in terms of semi-key items would be the fairy flute.
Oh yeah, I didn't find that one either.
Nobody has found it as of yet, so if it isn't in this deep chest in the grave, then it was buried somewhere in Sharlock.
Oh, okay. What was the chest in Rimmildar? Was it just gold or something?
It was wings.
Wings? Okay.
No.
Yeah, so, it's funny, because back in the earlier fall tournament, there was a running joke with Empty Eye, that Empty Eye could never find coal, right? Well, apparently the running joke with me is that I can't find Rimmildar. I think this is twice now in my 2 seeds that I found Rimmildar after the hour mark.
Huh. Just kind of keeping things going in that regard, or keeping the running gag going. And deep into the grave is just some big bucks. And really, for TAH, it wasn't even that big. It was 507.
Yeah, you can see where that that grave was. You had to basically go left from the path you took to go to Sharlock. It was in a very, very obscure spot.
Oh yeah, I see that. But he doesn't have Erdrick's armor yet? Ooh.
Correct. He did not. It was very late into the run that he even got the coordinates, and has not made any type of play to get them. Perhaps looking. I mean, he already has the token, and I believe he's already found Hawk's Nest, so I mean, by process of elimination, the armor would be in the overworld spot. It just hasn't been a priority, I suppose. But otherwise, he has everything else.
Yeah. That red dragon protecting the princess was interesting.
Yes, with the ever-fruitful 14 experience.
And DL2 breath.
Yeah, that was fun finding that the first time. So I think I died the first time I went. I think it was level 7, I think. And then I got hurt more. I'm like, all right, let's try it again with hurt more. And thankfully it worked.
So when you got the coordinates, did you immediately think that you needed the GPS?
Immediately. Immediately I knew it was on the second continent. And it's like, okay. All right, got to go to the second continent. Got to find the coordinates. It was immediate. No doubt in my mind. And I do apologize for the middle of my stream getting a little choppy there. I live in eastern Pennsylvania where we're getting a bunch of wind and power outages everywhere. I didn't even have Verizon Wireless for like half of yesterday, so I do apologize for the choppiness in my stream. I blame the weather.
No worries. I did, being also in eastern Pennsylvania, I did note that on chat that we've been having some issues over the course of the last 36 to 48 hours that are weather-related.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think it'd affect me streaming as much as it did, but mid-stream I noticed that I had dropped something along the lines of like 45% of my frames, and I'm like, uh-oh. So I rebooted OBS a couple times, and hopefully it got a little better toward the end there, but yeah.
Well, as noted in chat, apparently Twitch has also been having some issues just across the board, so I don't think it's just relegated to you and TAH. I think it's I think it's site-wide. For reasons unbeknownst to me.
Well, that makes you feel a little better.
Yeah, so far so good here. I mean, I noted the experience. There were quite a few enemies that were not very fruitful. As I'm looking here, there were 6 enemies that I could see that were 14 experience or fewer.
Felt like more than that.
I mean, I wasn't able to jot them all down because of some of the hiccups and issues, but I mean, I could see that. I mean, the Magic Wyvern had 7, the Demon Knight had 6, the Star Wyvern had 6, the Blue Dragon had 14, the Armored Knights had 4, and the Red Dragons had 14.
And then on the other end of the spectrum, oh boy, that Wolf Lord, that Wolf Lord was nice.
Yeah, they gave the max of 255. Pretty much the entire wolf family was fruitful. I mean, the wolves in the beginning giving the 228, and even the werewolf at a not too shabby 152.
Yeah, that whole family was real nice. And then, you know, of course, the Wolf Lord is the Sharlock boss, and I'm like, do I grind another level or not? But then I check Wayland again, and it's like 2,900. I'm like, no, let's just try this. And thankfully, it looked like a nice... Well, it was squishy DL1 and DL2. DL2 didn't have much more than I'd say about 120, 150 HP.
I believe that your... As I'm looking here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Your 7th attack was able to take it out, and that put it at 125. So somewhere between 113 and 125 was what Dragon Lord 2 had.
Yeah.
He had pretty high rolls across the board. Just your first and your last were low, but all the others were in the upper teens and low 20s.
Yeah, I was definitely getting some good rolls, and I'm glad I hit that stop spell first thing. You know, just to ease my mind about any heal or sleep, but I don't think he had either, so... It was a pretty straightforward fight, thankfully.
Yeah, pretty straightforward, and all told about 25 to 35 fewer HP than you're used to in the standard randomizer version.
Yep. Hey, and I'm just happy right now that I'm still alive.
Yes, that's right. You'll be moving on to next week. It'll be the, as I've been told, it's called the Airdrick Advancement Round. As, essentially a winning you're in and go home as far as heading on to the bracket end of the tournament. But all of our runners, even if in this case, since TAH is eliminated from the bracket stage of the tournament, but we'll still have one more Swiss match next week.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It'll be fun. I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to next week and commentating a few more races from round 2. I'm looking forward to what's coming up.
Yeah, I know there are a couple of people that are looking forward to the eventual pairing of you and I in commentary.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I can't wait for that. I know we've done a couple of the weeklies, like on Speed Gaming or here on Randomania, but I'm looking forward to calling an actual race with you.
Yeah, it'll. I mean, I kind of felt like there was a Summerall Madden-esque type pairing to us, and I mean they're a pretty dynamic duo. So I mean, not that. Not to take anything away from anybody else whom I've commentated with, and I mean I've certainly had a plethora. I think out of the 9 races that I've called here in this, or 10 now, this is my 10th in the tournament, I've had I think 7 or 8 different broadcast partners. So it's been a great variety. But enough about me. I mean, this is about you guys, the racers. And speaking of which, TAH acquiring Princess Gwaelin and dropping her off at Tanagel Castle, so we'll be able to, he'll be able to have the Gwaelin positioning system, the GPS.
Looks like she's taking the dragon scale this time.
Which I'm not sure, it wasn't lit up on his thing. I'm not sure if he ever equipped the dragon scale or donned it.
Alright, so unless you guys have anything else, I am going to get on my merry way.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to TAH for trying to finish this out here. I mean, so we'll be sticking around with that, and we'll take a look at some of the upcoming races here in the tournament, and it's certainly going to be interesting over the course of the next couple of days, especially Monday night, which is... Monday night is going to be the most chaotic of the chaos races, as we've got a quadruple header pretty much all interacting or overlapping with one another.
Yeah, that'll be fun, and that'll be a fun one to watch and to commentate, whoever manages to commentate, the 4-way. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I'll be in there somewhere. I don't know how it's all going to shake out, but as far as on Monday, we have a quadruple header. We've got Lord of the Synth against Amazing Toaster. That's set at Monday night at 9 Eastern. As is at the exact same time, the Tie-Dye Guy and Kaiten619. Or Kaiten619, excuse me. That's also at 9 o'clock Eastern on Monday. An hour earlier at 8 p.m., you've got Janus against the Seawolf 1. And then at 9:30 p.m. on Monday, you've got Sparkover against Tristal. Now, as far as today goes, this is, as I said, the first of a triple header, as coming up in a little bit here. I don't know if it's going to be immediately following the conclusion of the TAH run, or if it's going to be us signing off a little bit earlier. I know there's a bit of flexibility with it, but we're going to have McGrew against Zarnax42. And I believe that is set to also be here on Randomania 2. And then deep into the night, later tonight, with an 11 p.m. Eastern starting time, I may have to get a little bit of shut-eye to see if I can come back for that one. But it's going to be BT against Jake Hoper. And McGrew confirming that after the... so at the conclusion of the race here, so once TAH finishes up here, we'll take a little bit of respite, get everything reset here, and then give you guys a start. I'm sure McGrew will confirm that. Getting some more of the production things squared away here, and we'll see where all that is going as things go along here. And Zarnax bringing his own cheering section to the chat, as that'll be coming up here. And in the interim, TAH, it looks like, is digging around for those coordinates.
Yep, and he immediately went to the second continent and used the GPS, so he knows he's on the right track, just has to walk in the right direction.
And I think that has been also the struggle, is while the Star Wyverns have been pretty easy to take down, only the 6 experience per pop. And still a little bit north and quite a few spaces west to go. Another 17 west and 4 north. Okay, maybe it's confusing the directions a bit here, or looking back. Well, okay, no, I was gonna say the numbers are correct there, so it's just a matter. Okay, it's going up a little too much north.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that threw me as a newer runner was the fact that the coordinates, with the GPS are kind of backwards from what you received from the old man. But I think Alan's got the hang of it now.
And taking out a skeleton for 132, and just kind of seeing where it is now. It's just a matter of go west another 7. Okay. 4, 5, 6. Okay. Yep, one more. There you go. And he's got the armor.
Now all he has to do is pick up enough levels to finish this out, and fortunately we know that a bunch of those levels are pretty clustered together with low experience totals.
Yeah, it's got roughly another 300 or 400 to get to level 13, but then only about another 700 to jump from 13 to 17. So there's quite a few levels in between there in a very short duration. So, I mean, depending on which enemies are able to be picked off, and the blue dragon is definitely not one of them, that there's a good possibility. I was going to say, I was going to throw a number out there, but then I'll be the commentator curse, so I'm not even... but I think Zarnax pretty much hit the nail on the head. We'll put it that way in chat. But yeah, I was going to say, I don't believe that there's anything... I mean, he has the rainbow drop.
Yeah, just has to find a few more wolf lords, and that's about it.
And perhaps making a beeline toward... Oh, wow. Okay, wyverns with just the baby breath, as it's known. I was going to say, has he encountered Sherlock in his travels?
I think he has seen Sherlock, but he saw it a long time before he got the rainbow drop, so...
So it could be one of those out of mind, out of sight type things.
Yeah, and if he remembers the way to the grave, all he has to do is go right instead of left.
Oh, well, it looks like TAH has officially forfeited here at about the 104-minute mark. That a little bit of a surprise. I mean, he was going at a pretty good clip. So that looks to conclude things, at least for the moment, as far as this race here, as TAH has submitted the forfeit. A little bit of a tough go for him after falling in his first match to high spirits by a little less than 8 minutes. But laboring for just under 2.5 hours.
So we'll see if we can get Alan in here for some comments before we wrap the stream up.
That sounds like a good idea. And then coming up in a little bit here is once we hopefully once we hopefully get a chat here with TAH. Coming up, we've got McGrew against Zarnax 42, and that'll be right here on the Randomania 2 network. And then late tonight, we've got BT and Jay Coper. That'll be at 11 Eastern, just a little less than 5 hours from now. And I believe we have TAH, TheAlanHeffley here in the Discord chat. What an effort! I mean, good on you to persevere through, and it looks like you were on the verge of breaking things open. It's just a matter of time, as Brooke Benton sang about some 50+ years ago.
Yeah, I just kind of just did everything slowly. I just didn't execute it very well at all.
Well, I mean, it was it was something that Z-Man did pick up on a little bit more quickly in terms of the cursed belt grind to be able to get, I believe, first the magic armor and then a copper sword just to be able to hack at some things. I mean, and I think that was it. It was just a matter of, I mean, you both had the same idea and the same game plan. It just took Z-Man a little bit less time to do so. I mean, the initial levels, it took Z-Man about 17 minutes and change to get to level 2, whereas you were able to dispatch of fairly early Warlock for 36, but it took 95 to get to the second level, and it wasn't until a little over a half hour in that you were able to find the Wolf, which was that easy to kill enemy, and that got the momentum going.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on the wolf being the easy to kill enemy. I thought it was, I guess I thought it was the warlock at first, but yeah, like you said, he got that picked up on that a lot quicker than I did. So yeah, that's what happens, I guess.
Well, I mean, it was pretty close. I mean, once you were able to get that information, you were able to catch up pretty quickly and had actually hit level 6 about 20 seconds prior to Z-Man hitting level 6. So in terms of experience, it was pretty even on, and I think then it was just a matter of exploration. It seemed like you were on your route to getting to a particular key item, including, I mean, you did get the Erdrick sword prior to Z-Man doing so. It's just every time you turned around, you were running into Dragonlord breath and getting sent right back to the castle.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, as I say, any other thoughts about the seed and everything else here?
No, not really. That pretty much said what I need to say, and well, try to see what I can do next round. I know I'm pretty much out of it now, so but I'll play it out. Why not?
As far as the bracket, that is correct, but I mean, this is for a lot of people. I mean, 9 out of the 22 in the field, this is their tournament debut, so this is definitely something to learn and grow from. And I mean, the chaotic seed, or the chaotic nature of these seeds certainly brings an interesting dynamic. But if nothing else, it gives a little bit of practice for the upcoming standard Dragon Warrior randomizer tournament coming up in the late summer and early fall.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. I'll more than likely be part of it unless something drastic happens. But yeah, I'll be there.
And I will certainly be there as well in some capacity. I don't know necessarily about playing, but I'll definitely be here behind the mic, as I've enjoyed doing here thus far. Well, good effort thus far, and I mean, a couple of tough ones. First with High Spirits, and now here with Z-Man. I mean, everybody certainly a lot of capabilities, and depending on how things roll in the third round here, it should be a chance to get one in the win column here for you.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be cool.
Absolutely. Well, we want to thank you all for tuning in here on 2. Make sure to give our 2 runners a follow, Zman050778 and TheAlanHeffley. Also, props to our restreamer who was keeping things together here despite a lot of meteorological hiccups. Jackamus keeping things together. And for my co-commentator Edgeworth, until next time, I'm Ferran Burgundy saying may your moves be excellent and your seeds stay classy. Stay tuned. Coming up, we've got McGrew against Zarnax 42 in a few minutes here on Randomania 2.